Audio Jungle.
Jamaican woman allegedly recruiting Haitian criminals held in Operation Endgame Dragnet. The police in St. James have revealed that they have taken several Haitians into custody in what they believe is a disruption to gang activities. According to Superintendent Lenore Edwards, operation officer for the ongoing crime reduction activity, Operation Endgame in the parish, a Jamaican woman was also taken in relation to the incident. On Monday, 4 Haitian and 1 female Jamaican were taken into custody after operations were carried out at 2 locations in Blue Hole community in Montpellier, St. James, he explained. He said that particular operation was in search of a major violent producer said to be in that particular area. Our intelligence is pointing to gang affiliation, and the female has been playing a major role over time in recruiting Haitians for gangs, he continued. He said investigations are at an early stage but continue as it relates to the matter. Further to that, he said that they also made another breakthrough during the course of the week as they carried out on their push to continue their reduction in crime in the parish. On Wednesday about 5:15 a.m., the police conducted an operation along the Iron Shore Main Road where an amputated was seen hopping into bushes, he noted. A search was subsequently conducted in the area, and 1 pistol containing 5 9mm rounds were recovered, he continued. The amputee, he said, and another man were arrested in relation to the find, but he also provided some information that allegedly criminal connections of the amputee. The amputee has been a member of the non-dysfunction Sky Mask gang that used to operate in Lilliput space and based on our intelligence is still involved in gang activities, he disclosed. On Tuesday, they seized another firearm in time in the Montego Bay West Village community and 1 man was taken into custody as of such. On the 14th of October, about 1:15 p.m., 1 9mm pistol was recovered at Plum Bumble Circle, Granville, St. James, he added. A 43-year-old man has been arrested in relation to that finding after a targeted raid was conducted at his house. This follows last week's success, where 2 men were taken into custody after a gun was found on Friday, October 10, in the Bogue Heights community. 1 9mm pistol and a Glock 17 pistol and 7 rounds were recovered, and 2 men were arrested during a raid in Bogue Village in Montego Bay, Edwards noted. The raid, he explained, was carried out by St. James and the Area 1 Lottery Scam Task Force after a black Toyota Crown motor vehicle disobeyed the police signal to stop and sped off along the Bogue Heights main road. It was subsequently intercepted and lottery scamming materials were found with the 2 men that were found aboard. This led to further search of their private quarters where the firearm was found, Edwards noted. He said that the police will continue their efforts to maintain and reduce the crime rate in the parish, which is trending at major low for several consecutive months. The St. James Police, along with our supporting formation and counterparts from the Jamaica Defense Force, will continue our relentless operations against criminal networks in order to sustain and preserve the safety and security across the parish, he declared. NCB announces interest rate and fee adjustments starting December 1. The National Commercial Bank (NCB) has announced that effective December 1, 2025, it will adjust interest rate as its saving and fixed deposit accounts and update its service fee structure. The bank said the changes come after a careful and periodical review aimed at maintaining competitive returns and sustainable value for customers amid the evolving economic landscape. Under the new structure, cash withdrawal conducted in branch will attract revised fees. Withdrawals over $100,000, $379.50 per transaction. Seniors age 55 and over are exempted. Withdrawals of up to $100,000, $7,500 per transactions. As for cash deposit, bank accounts personal. In bank, where offered cash deposit is in excess of Jamaican $1 million per day, will attach 4.75% of $1,000 on total deposit charge. For ATM transactions at NCB machines, customer will enjoy 4 free transactions per month. A fee of $25 per transaction will apply thereafter. for saving accounts including Gold Club and Quick Save accounts. First two ATM transactions per month are free, followed by a 35% transaction after that. Personal account services. For current checking accounts, the minimum monthly credit balance requires remains $75,000. No charge applies if the monthly credit balance is $75,000 or above. If the balance falls below this threshold, a fee of $108.71 per entry will be applied. The minimum monthly service charge for a current account will be $1,015.27. NCB customers are encouraged to review the upcoming changes in details by visiting the bank website at jncb.com/fees. Capri expresses concern that Jamaica's plastic bag is not being adequately enforced. The Caribbean Policy Research Institute Capri has expressed concern that Jamaica's plastic ban is not being adequately enforced. Capri-led researcher Dominique Augustine said the follow-through has been fragmented and enforcement fatigue is settling. She was speaking last evening at the launch of Capri's new report, The Bag Ban Theory, Unpacking Evidence and Capacity Gaps in Caribbean Plastic Policies. Jamaica began phasing in the ban on single-use plastic on January 1, 2019. Ms. Augustine argued that despite the ambitious policy, government systems to track and manage progress remain weak. She said Jamaica, like many other Caribbean islands, falls short when it comes to execution. Among the recommendations offered by Capri is setting up a system to track the flow of plastic, coupled with quarterly reports from relevant stakeholders.
Jamaica's policy's strength lies in its design. It's phased, consultative, and it's built into the broader environmental framework. But the follow-through has been fragmented. Cleanup data reveals that plastic bag litter decreased from 13% in 2018 to 6% in 2021, and then rose back again to almost 9% in 2022. This rebound suggests there might have been an initial compliance followed by possible enforcement fatigue. And this slowdown is also evident in reported figures. So there have been 52 cases of prosecutions since 2019, with 37 of them happening in the first year alone, and the remaining 15 happening up until the end of 2024. There is still no data on what's replacing plastic bags or on how the informal retail sector is adapting. Regardless, Jamaica's ban stands out for its clarity, but it highlights a familiar regional story: ambitious policy design without the government systems to adequately measure progress. 1. Establish systematic monitoring of plastic flows. Monitor what matters. Track plastic flows and not just bans. Require quarterly reporting from relevant authorities and conduct waste characterization studies biennially. Set and enforce standards for plastic alternatives. Not every biodegradable label means it's safe. Adopt recognized standards and require independent testing with publicly available approval lists. Strengthen enforcement capacity at ports and inland. Expand customs inspections and require regularized spot checks across retail and informal markets. Institutionalize monitoring of green procurement outcomes. Report transparently. Show Parliament what's working through annual green procurement reports. Strengthen public education with measurable targets. Introduce yearly awareness campaigns with concrete and trackable goals.
Appeal made for greater support for Marvelly Mental Health Center following drive-by shooting. A month after gunmen shot and killed 2 people, including a 2-year-old in Marvelly, St. Andrew, there are calls of greater support for a mental health center in the community, which is reportedly one of the few safe havens for children suffering from deep psychological impact of the violence. This is where the parents and kids who have been traumatized through violence or otherwise, this is where their mental wellness starts. Once they get here, there is a counselor here to help, noted Andrew Harris, counsel for the division in St. Andrew Northwestern. It is also open to parents as well, because if the parents are not fit and ready, the students most definitely won't be. Whatever happens here, if not carried over into the home, will be a failure, said Harris, reflecting on the months of flood in violence, which was shattered in seconds by a drive-by shooting incident. Police said 2-year-old Tajon Jackson of Greenwich Park in Anniville and 25-year-old Kimberly Powell, otherwise called Beans, a business operator of Grimedy Road, were both murdered, and another person injured when armed thugs drove up and opened fire on a group sitting on the roadside. Police attributed the incident to standoff between factions in Top and Bottom Marvally. This, as they said, has been a loggerheads with each other for decades. Currently, there is a strong contingent of police and military in the area aimed at preventing further reprisals. Harris was speaking at the Wall of Fame ceremony put on by Marvally Primary and Infant School on Wednesday. He and past students Sandra Christie Brown and Yvonne Foster, former counsel for the division, were awarded for their contributions to the school over many years. The Wellness Center was launched in 2023 by Sandra Christie Brown, who is based in the US and has served as a haven for residents dealing with mental and emotional troubles. It served not only the school but the entire community, Christy Brown stressed. It is my way of giving back to Marvally. The starting of this wellness center, I realize that in the classroom, we have students who have been suffering from trauma from all sorts, especially in Marvally. Being an underserved community, there is crime, and what we need is a community in more participation from not only community stakeholders, but also elected members of parliament, she charged, adding that the more resources are needed to ensure the effective outreach. Meanwhile, as he lauded a recent implemented CCTV initiative in tackling robberies in the division, Harris urged residents of troubling communities to actively assist the police with their investigations by telling them what they know. Whatever help we can give to the police, we certainly should, but I am also appealing to the police in the execution of their duties to handle it with care. So it is a two-way street, he affirmed. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.